What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Biggie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And next week is E3, and I'm really worried about this year's E3. It seems like it's going to be fairly underwhelming. Now, the good news is I'm still going to E3 this year because I just want to go hang out with the Cyberpunk devs and play those games and a few of the other games I'm still excited for. And if you watch the YouTube gaming coverage on Sunday, I should make a small appearance on that live stream as well. But I'm still really worried about E3 this year. I think it's going to be fairly boring. And there's some good stuff I want to talk about. There's some bad stuff I want to talk about. But first, let me explain why I'm worried about E3 this year. A couple of years back, we saw Nintendo determine that they could just go direct to the consumer and no longer felt the need to put together a big E3 show, instead doing it on their own at the same time as E3. And this year, we've seen Sony bow out completely from the show, and that's really worrisome. And Sony's already done its job here before E3. It's already revealed some of the information about its next generation console, the PlayStation 5. And their biggest game coming is Death Stranding, and they've shown a new trailer and a new release date, and they've done all of this without the benefit of E3. Like I said, Nintendo has already been doing that, but Nintendo actually one-ups E3 a little bit by having its own Direct and its own Treehouse during the same week as E3. It actually kind of competes with E3. It actually kind of steals a lot of E3's thunder. This Saturday, there's a Super Mario Maker Invitational, the Splatoon 2 World Championship, a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World Championship, all Saturday before E3. Then on Tuesday, there will be an early Nintendo Direct, very similar to their other Directs, but a little more focused on the upcoming year with Animal Crossing, Luigi Mansion 3, Astral Chain, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and a lot more games. And then there will be the Treehouse Live, ranging from Tuesday the 11th all the way to Thursday the 13th, and that's during the show days of E3. Not to mention, we've even seen EA peel off from E3 this year, and they will be doing all of their announcements on Saturday. That's way before the show. Unfortunately for the people who organize E3, Sony is not doing the exact same thing, because if they put together their own floor show, their own competing party, their own competing live stream, that could be devastating for the folks over at E3. And that's probably what they will do next year. Now, the good news is Xbox does still have an E3 show, and they are technically part of E3, but a lot of people don't realize this. They no longer rent space in the convention center from the folks at E3. Instead, they actually put all of their stuff in the Microsoft Theater right across the street from E3, so technically they are directly competing with E3 as well. Rather than paying the guys over at E3 for floor space, if you want to check out Halo Infinite or the new Gears or any of the cool stuff that Microsoft has to show this year, instead of going to E3, you go across the street to the Microsoft Theater and you do it there. Now, there's still plenty of stuff that's happening directly with E3. There's still going to be plenty of indie booths and smaller game booths, and there's still going to be Ubisoft and Square Enix and Devolver Digital and Bethesda all still part of the main show. So it's not like E3 is completely dead, but E3 definitely is not what it used to be and probably never will be again. And then on top of this, E3 this year is kind of a snooze fest because we don't have a lot of games coming out left for this generation, and we're not necessarily getting the consoles for the next generation in the next couple of years. So we don't really know what to expect from this year's E3. And so I'm just kind of worried about it, and I'm worried that E3 will just never be the same again. Now, the good news is I think E3 will always be a thing because big companies, even if they break away from the main show, are still going to want to show off all of their new games and all of their new consoles and all of their new stuff while everybody's in town for E3. Even if you don't directly work with E3, you're still going to want to show everybody, including the world, your games and your new stuff while people are paying attention. So I think E3 will always be kind of like an anniversary thing, but never the giant show that it used to be. But now let's talk about the good. Let's take a quick look at what each company will bring to E3 this year. If you want a more in-depth look at any company, let me know in the comments section below, and I might make that video later in this week. But as it is right now, let's take a quick look at what people are bringing. Nintendo is poised to have a really big E3 because they have a lot of games coming out, including a new Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion 3 has been leaked, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, of course, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Super Mario Maker 2, which launches in just a few days. That and Nintendo continues to be one of the best places to get smaller indie games, so I expect them to show a lot of indie game stuff, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about Animal Crossing and a little bit more about Bayonetta 3, or maybe some surprises from Nintendo. Now, Xbox still has that trouble with not a lot of games to show, but they do have some first-party exclusives to show off, including Halo Infinite and Gears 5. We know those are confirmed for the show. But Phil Spencer actually tweeted out that their E3 rehearsal included 14 Xbox Game Studio games in the show this year. So that's only 2 of 14. Who knows what the other 12 might be? And it looks like Fable 4 may be one of those 12 games because there are currently leaks saying that it's going to be an Xbox One exclusive and will be shown at E3 during the Xbox show. So fingers crossed, because I would love me some Fable 4. But now keep in mind, when we say Xbox exclusive these days, that is a very broad term because we know a lot of those games will be coming to the Windows 10 store, and even some of those games will be coming to Steam. So when you say Xbox exclusive these days, you might want to say Microsoft platform exclusive. And I expect to hear them use that term at some point this E3. Bethesda is bravely doing a show at E3 this year, but we know for a fact they have stated they will not be discussing Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at E3 this year, and I feel like that's a huge mistake. Bethesda will show us some Wolfenstein Youngblood. They will probably also show us a little bit of Doom Eternal, and hopefully some surprises. I imagine there's going to be some sort of apology for Fallout 76 and a way to try to get people to come back to that game, so we'll see what they do in that regard. I would expect Bethesda to announce that Fallout 76 is going entirely free to play. On top of that, there will be some sort of huge welcome back package for existing players who purchased the game, probably some add-ons, some free cosmetics, some different stuff along that lines. At least that's what they should do. Whether they will or not, who knows. Ubisoft show is probably going to be exactly what you're expecting. They're going to hype a lot of their existing live services games, like Rainbow Six Siege, which is still very, very popular. Tom Clancy's The Division 2, which got off to a rocky start, and For Honor, which I'm surprised people still play that game, but they certainly do. Ubisoft said that they will be releasing 3 currently unannounced AAA games by March 31st, 2020. So presumably we have to see information about all 3 of those games this year. And quite to my disappointment, it looks like Skull and Bones has been delayed. So there will be no presentation for it at E3 2019, which is just so weird. Just show it last year, then delay it, and then not show it this year. But I do look forward to playing that game. You can probably also expect some cringy, nightmarish hell from the folks over at Ubisoft, because that's what they do every year. And then, of course, EA's show this year is going to be interesting, to say the least. Apex Legends and Battlefield 5, their live service games. Of course, their sports games, FIFA and Madden. The Sims 4 as well. But most importantly, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Please, EA, please get that game right. Then finally, Square Enix will have its show as well. The 2 major things I'm focused for there is the new Avengers game and finding out some details about that. And then the Final Fantasy VII Remake. We'll just find out it's been delayed again, but I look forward to finding out how long it's going to be delayed for this time. So there's a quick look at E3 2019. It'll show you the schedule. If you want to watch all that stuff live, you can, or you can just come back to my channel, hit subscribe so that you can see my E3 coverage videos, because I will make a video covering each individual press conference and what I'm excited about. And leading up to this week, I will be posting some of the games individually and shows that I'm excited about as well. So there's going to be a ton of E3 content for you right here on the channel. Who knows? Francis might even make an appearance. Maybe. Now, as usual, this is one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and my opinion is this. Even though E3 is going through some growing pains, and this is a transition, I still think this time of year is going to be great for video games, and I will continue to go out to LA and continue to enjoy the show as frequently and often as I can, and continue covering this stuff for you guys here on the channel for as long as you guys continue to watch. If you want to do that, hit subscribe to the channel while you're down there. Hit that notification bell so you are alerted to whenever a new video is uploaded. And if you watch a video in the first couple of hours after its upload, you guarantee that it will be successful, and I appreciate you if you choose to do that. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.